This is Billionaire Mondays. Every Monday, we present you with another billionaire. Today, we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Ray Dalio. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. It's time to talk about billionaires again. Today we have America's best financial advisor on the radar. His name is Ray Dalio, and we bet half of you guys know him already. But those who don't, here's a little background info. Raymond Dalio is a wealthy and famous American billionaire investor, hedge fund manager, and philanthropist. He was born into a middle-class family from Italian immigrants, and because he was quick and smart, he managed to get into business early. He is the founder of Bridgewater Associates, one of the world's largest hedge funds, and a billionaire, of course. He's even wrote and self-published books on financial advice and how debt cycles work. Ray Dalio always shares his knowledge and tips with everyone. He's that Wall Street kind of guy that everyone loves because he's not bullshitting anyone, has strong work ethics, and finds time to give back. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. But enough rambling on in the intro. Let's see what else there is to know about Ray Dalio, because there's always more than meets the eye, even for a guy with a good reputation. Number 1. His company manages $160 billion. Through his company Bridgewater Associates, Ray Dalio managed to become one of the most respected and important figures in the finance world. He founded the company from his apartment in 1975 and has worked with big names from all over the world, like McDonald's, Adidas, and Montclair. Through his principles and work ethic, he managed to make his clients over $50 billion per year. Nowadays, his hedge fund manages over $160 billion. His hedge fund is so big and successful that even the next 3 funds that are in line don't manage as much money as he does. Now that's how you know you're successful. Number 2. He offers meditation for his employees. Working for such a famous company can get quite stressful, and since we come across so many stress factors in our daily life, it's hard to unwind and not burn out every week. Ray Dalio discovered meditation pretty early, and because he's seen the great results it has in his life, he decided to implement it for his employees too. Through David Lynch's foundation, he offers his employees free meditation classes if they want to study it. It's great to see that some managers understand the importance of mental health and want their employees to feel good both physically and mentally, something we unfortunately rarely see these days. Number 3. He can predict financial crisis. When the financial crisis of 2008 hit everyone, there were a few smart guys that actually predicted it long before it happened. It was something that was bound to happen, and Ray Dalio warned everyone that it would. Although financial crises are bound to happen from time to time, the one in 2008 was a little different. Because nobody listened to any of the warnings, he wrote a book explaining his model for the economic crisis, and hopefully CEOs will read it and listen to financial advisors next time around. He's been through hard times and good times, and somehow managed to come out on the other side as a winner, so trust him. Number 4. He started investing at 13 years old. Ray Dalio is now almost 70 years old. He's definitely getting up there, and most people expect him to fully retire in a few years. He's been working and improving his company for over 40 years now. He has a wife, 4 children, and some philanthropy projects he could be focusing on instead. Although he looks very good for his age, people might not know he started working at 13 years old. At 13 years old, little Ray Dalio began investing. He bought $300 worth of shares at Northeast Airlines, and when the company merged with another airline, his investment tripled. Of course, coming from a middle-class family helped him out a little bit, but he is a self-made billionaire in the end, so all credits go to him. Number 5. His net worth is $18.1 billion according to Forbes. When your company manages a few $1 billion, you're bound to get a few yourself. Ray Dalio is a smart guy, and since he makes so much money for his clients, he makes a few bucks for himself too. As of September 2018, he has a net worth of $18.1 billion, making him one of the richest men in America. This guy managed to get his company juggling billions of dollars without going public, without bankruptcy or schemes, and with one of the best reputations out there. He's an underdog, a rebel, and surprisingly, a very modest billionaire. He's got an extraordinary book called Principles, which we cannot recommend enough to anyone looking to understand what kind of mindset you need to succeed in life. The book is fairly expensive, but if you go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up, you can get the audiobook version for free, thanks to our friends at Audible. Number 6. He lost his first job because he got drunk and punched his boss. We all have a past, and sometimes that past can really influence our future. When we're young, we often don't think about consequences, and often they come back to haunt us. It's happened to a lot of famous people, and in a way, it happened to Ray Dalio as well. His 20s were a little bit more rebellious, but thinking that he grew up in the 70s, we understand where it's all coming from. Ray landed a job after he finished college. He had an MBA from Harvard Business School, but got fired because one time he got drunk and punched his boss in the face. He must have really hated his boss. Number 7. His company has been accused of sexual misconduct. It's not all fun and games at the Bridgewater Associates offices. In fact, sources say it's a very hostile and tiring place to work, in spite of the good salaries they offer. Not everyone can accommodate to Ray Dalio's principles and take on corporate culture, but when sexual misconduct happens, it all changes. It seems that Bridgewater Associates managers like to have fun with juniors, and when upper management found out about it, they started an inquiry, which consisted of explicit meetings and interviews with HR personnel and other employees. In the end, after they've heard all sides of the story, they decided to lay off the junior assistant, who was a young female, pay her $1 million to shut up, and move on. Kind of sounds insensitive and sexist if you ask us. Number 8. He is not a fan of Donald Trump. Like 80% of the world, Ray Dalio has some concerns about Donald Trump too. His views on the current state of their country are not so negative and vocal as others, but more focused on the long-term effects. And let's be honest, he's too much of a gentleman to trash anyone, even Trump. He's stated in a few interviews that due to Trump's way of attracting conflict rather than harmony, it can affect the US very much. He thinks that his actions and propaganda is aimed at a certain group of people instead of the whole country. In the end, he can hurt his presidency, and with that, pretty much everyone else as well. He definitely knows how to give constructive feedback. Number 9. His investment firm is well known for being 100% transparent. A few things that make Bridgewater Associates unique is the way that it's designed to work like a well-oiled machine. This is not your regular corporation that only wants to work with the average people and follows the same corporate rules that makes any employer hate their job. He even wrote a book that explains his principles and why they work. Besides meditation that he practices and his employees can too, Ray Dalio keeps his company 100% transparent. All of their meetings are recorded so that everyone from the company can watch them and be up to date with all the numbers and decisions. This kind of practice is just as rare as the Yeti. Number 10. He owns 3 houses and 3 yachts. With those billions in his bank accounts, you bet Ray Dalio lives like a king on his private island with a chauffeur and drinking from crystal glasses, right? Well, sorry to break it to you, but it's quite the opposite. The guy lives a pretty modest life for a billionaire. Ray only has 3 houses. Yes, that's still a lot for some, but they're not luxury mansions. His most expensive house costs $6 million. Matt Damon has a more expensive house than this billionaire. On the other hand, Dalio does like to invest in yachts. He owns 3 of them, piling up to $70 million in total without considering maintenance costs. And Aluxers, if you like yachts, then check out our video, The Top 10 Most Expensive Yachts in the World, to see some real luxury. Click in the top right corner to check it out. Number 11. He believes meetings are a waste of time. In order for his company to run smoothly and also efficiently, Ray Dalio decided to change the common corporate culture. His company is pretty different, and even though some people think it's a little extreme and overwhelming, it seems to be working for them so far. He talks a lot about his principles, and one thing he hates the most are meetings. He thinks meetings are a waste of time, but since they can't be avoided, he found a way of making them work. In his book, he explains that meetings should have a clear purpose and a tracker. People need to stay focused, calm, and respect each other. Sounds good in theory, but not everyone can work with those rules. Number 12. He's supporting James Cameron's Ocean X project to map the bottom of the ocean. As we've seen earlier, Ray Dalio has a passion for yachts and sailing. He also likes to give back and has a strong philanthropy sense. When these two mix together, a great project benefits, and that project is Ocean X, James Cameron's attempt at mapping and surveying the bottom of the ocean. This project came as a response to Elon Musk's SpaceX project, because they think we should be focusing more on the ocean and not so much for outer space. So far, they made tremendous progress, and they plan to go with it. Fun fact, more and more billionaires have bought 30 million pound submarines so they can adventure into the deep, just like James Cameron. This is what billionaires do for fun these days. Number 13. He planned his retirement strategy and the future of his company. Last year, Ray Dalio announced he's retiring as CEO from Bridgewater Associates, but that doesn't mean that he won't be involved in the company anymore. Even more than ever, he knows that one day he'll not be here, so he planned ahead and has a strategy for the company's future without him. There won't be any crazy changes because he already has started implementing a master plan to make sure the company stays immortal. His principles will become the law in an effort to close the Ray gap, or the difference between how Dalio has done things and how likely it is the staff he leaves behind will do the same. This strategy is very similar to any country's law system, meaning that he really has thought it through. Number 14. He started out at the same company as Jim Rogers. A few years ago, at a small company, 2 guys were just starting out in life. They didn't have much experience, no money, but a lot of dreams. Those guys were Ray Dalio and Jim Rogers. By now, you know who Dalio is, but what about Jim Rogers? He is the second biggest investor and co-founder of Quantum Fund and creator of the Rogers International Commodities Index. Just like Ray Dalio, Jim Rogers is a millionaire with a net worth of $300 million and the second most respected investor, after Ray Dalio, of course. They both started out at Dominick firm on Wall Street in the 1970s, and somehow both managed to become rich and respected in the industry. What are the odds? Number 15. He learned that money doesn't buy happiness. Everyone wants to become a millionaire at all costs. Most people think that by having money, happiness will follow, but that is a common mistake that everyone makes. Money can only buy you certain things, services and experiences, but it can't buy you love, relationships, sanity, and peace of mind. For those, you need something else, something that money can't buy. What's the purpose of having money if you don't have real people around you to spend the money with? Ray Dalio understood the importance and value of relationships over money, and he now speaks publicly about it. Yes, he has a lot of money himself, but that also means a lot of responsibility and stress. Well, Aluxers, now that you have another perspective on money, how to make it and how to spend it, taking advice from Ray Dalio's perspective, we're happy to see that not all billionaires are the same. We're not trying to judge people, we're inspiring future billionaires. With that being said, we'd love to know what you think. Does money buy happiness or not? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for watching this video all the way to the end, what's that mean? You get a bonus fact. For today's loyal Aluxers, we have a parallel between Dalio and two other billionaires. Care to know what they have in common? Number 16. Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Ray Dalio have something in common. Some of the richest and most successful people have always been envied and studied. What are they doing? How are they doing it? And what lies behind all that success? In most cases, it's a matter of hard work, dedication, and simple routines. They read a lot, they focus on the development, and they have simple lives. Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Ray Dalio, as well as others, do all of those things, and a few more. They keep wearing the same style of clothes for a simple reason. It eliminates useless choices and helps with personal branding. In case you didn't know about Ray Dalio's style, he always wears the same style of suit, so he always looks presentable and sharp. He even wears the same red tie a lot, but even that changes sometimes. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.